my cheating wife, I'm filing for divorce in front of our kids. I, a 39-year-old man, have been with my wife, a 35-year-old woman, for 8 years, married for 7. I feel utterly defeated at this point, and I'm using this platform to simply let out my frustrations and ask for advice. When we met, she had a child from a previous relationship. We've since had 2 more and adopted a 4th. Our relationship has never been our relationship. It's always been built on the needs of our children. The only significant amount of time we've spent alone together has been a 10-day trip 5 years ago. Please don't misunderstand me. I love our children and would do absolutely anything for them, but I've always felt like a second wheel, and I realize that this is part of being a parent. This is all just to add context. The real issue lies in the fact that she literally never takes accountability for what she says and does. I've heard on multiple occasions, "I'm not going to apologize for that. I have nothing to apologize for," after she verbally berated me. After she struck our son out of a disagreement between the 2 of them and still refused to A, apologize to him about it, and B, refused to go to family counseling, I knew I was done. I admit fault in the relationship too. I work very long hours and often don't do as much around the house as she'd like. Do I cook? Yes. Do I help the kids with their homework? Yes. Do I make sure the older kids get their chores done? Most of the time. Could I do better at laundry and general tidying up? Yes. Do I go to school meetings and our children's special events? Yes! But I've spent so much time, to be honest, just trying to be seen and feel appreciated for everything I do around the house that it's getting exhausting. She just finished her associate's degree in a highly demanding field, which I'm incredibly proud of her for. I was the only one working during that time. She only recently went back to work. Before going back to school, I found evidence of infidelity on her part and was heartbroken, but I still believed in the marriage, so I offered reconciliation terms, none of which have been followed by her. Why am I planning to divorce her, and why am I waiting? First, I need to make sure my finances are in order so I can set up another living situation for the joint custody I'm going to file for. I'm using the next several months to really make sure the decision is what I want and need, and to start marking instances of the following. I want to make sure that what I'm experiencing is actually accurate. Constant narcissism, gaslighting, her pretending to be the victim in every argument, and how I don't do enough around the house, etc. Maybe we need some time away from the kids. I'm not sure. I know for sure we need marriage and family counseling, and she needs individual therapy, but she refuses to go on all accounts. I feel worn down from constantly walking on eggshells with what I say and how I act. I've gained at least 40 pounds in the last 2 years from stress and little motivation to do anything about it, and I feel hardly any joy in hobbies I used to have. Something needs to change, and I'm at my wit's end on how to make things better, if they can be. Thank you all for reading. Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. You can't fix it. You already have made your choice. Clear those decks, lose that 40 pounds, get fit. But for you, once you've done that, change it up, get a new haircut, some new clothes again, for you. Any items left from old hobbies or just things you don't use anymore, get rid of them and sell them. Start streamlining your life, put away money in a secret bank account just for you. Start saving spare money again for you. Once you have done whatever is necessary for your kids, then focus on you. Use the gray rock method if you must. If you are worried about gaslighting arguments, just don't engage. If you want to save things, she will notice the change in your attitude, confidence, etc. If not, you have done the preparation for the leap into your new life. Comment 2. Speak to a lawyer and gather your evidence together. I'm sure you will both be happier and better parents living apart. She cheated and attacked a child. Even if she is an angel the rest of the time, I think you should be considering a divorce. Marriage counseling is not recommended with an hurtful partner. Be careful. Once she knows you plan to leave, she will try to provoke you into being hurtful and then use it against you in the divorce. Now for the update. My post from a week ago was about how I was planning to divorce my wife. I decided to sit the kids down for a family dinner to discuss some changes. I wanted to keep the mood light and not have them feel any stress over what was going on with me and their mom. So this was a week after that post. My wife walked in late from a study group, barely acknowledging us as she grabbed a plate. I noticed she had a new perfume and had dressed up more than usual. It seemed weird given the issues we were having. During dinner, she kept checking her phone, and I asked if she was expecting an important call. She just dismissed me with a wave, saying it was just a group chat with her classmates. But I could see her smiling. I started getting suspicious. That weekend, I went to my sister's birthday party. My wife stayed home, saying she had schoolwork. I noticed my brother-in-law whispering to my sister when I walked in. She gave me a concerned look when I mentioned my wife's absence. I could tell they were talking about her. I casually asked my sister if she knew about any study group gatherings that weekend. She shrugged, saying she hadn't heard anything. I didn't want to alarm her, so I dropped it. On Monday morning, I found my wife's phone unattended on the kitchen counter. I saw a text from a guy named Mike that said, "Can't wait to see you tonight." I got really mad. I confronted her about the text later that day. She just laughed it off, claiming it was a classmate messing around. I decided to dig a little deeper. I checked our shared calendar and found an entry for a study session at a cafe I didn't recognize. So I drove there that evening and saw my wife sitting at a table with Mike, talking and laughing. I just felt a rush of frustration. She didn't even notice me, and I left without her seeing me. I was still in disbelief. The next day, I found an old diary of hers that I had saved from a few years ago. I noticed entries about her feelings for someone else. I took the diary and showed it to her, which led to a huge argument about trust and betrayal. She claimed it was just a phase and nothing serious, but I just didn't buy it. I reached out to a family lawyer to discuss my options for divorce. I also started documenting her behavior. I kept a detailed log of everything she said and did that seemed manipulative or dismissive. It was exhausting, but I felt like I needed to do it. I knew I had my flaws too, and that I wasn't perfect, but I was trying, and I just felt like I was getting nowhere with her. I planned a family outing for the kids. I knew it would keep things civil while I figured out my next steps. We went to the park that Saturday. I overheard her talking on the phone about the plan with someone, but I couldn't catch the name. I confronted her later, and she insisted it was just about a group project. I decided to get a separate bank account to secure my finances in case things escalated. I also contacted a financial advisor to help me prepare for the upcoming divorce. The following weekend, I went to a family BBQ at my parents' house. I was trying to keep things normal for the kids. My wife showed up late again, and I could tell she had been drinking beforehand. During dinner, she began to argue with my mom over something trivial, making the atmosphere uncomfortable. I intervened, which only led her to storm off. Everyone felt the tension. After the BBQ, I got a text from my wife saying she needed space and was going to stay with a friend for a few days. While she was gone, I took the opportunity to rearrange our bedroom and found more messages from Mike hidden on her old phone. I took screenshots of the messages as proof for my lawyer. I decided to plan a family meeting when she returned to set clear boundaries about our relationship. I also began drafting a separation agreement, outlining custody and financial arrangements. When my wife returned, she acted as if nothing had happened. But I was ready to confront her. I started the family meeting, saying that I couldn't continue like this and needed honesty moving forward. She tried to deflect, claiming I was the one causing all the problems. I then revealed the evidence I had gathered, including the texts and diary entries. Her reaction was explosive. She started shouting and accusing me of invading her privacy. I calmly stated that I had enough and was filing for divorce. That left her speechless. The kids overheard the commotion, and I assured them it was just adult stuff. I told my wife I would be moving forward with the separation plan and that I would be contacting my lawyer soon. Edit. I appreciate all the support. To clarify, I have always been the primary income earner. My wife took 2 years off to care for our kids and is now working part-time while finishing her degree. I was responsible for all household bills during her studies, and we never had issues with finances until recently. The affair happened about a year ago. My wife swears it was just a crush, but I've seen enough to know it's more. The kids are currently unaware of all this.